give people a chance to get notified, because we got to have this little discussion, because people keep talking about how the people went to the polls in November and they voted for this. But it's much bigger than that. Yes, you guys voted for this in November, but your parents voted for this. Your grandparents voted for this. Your great grandparents voted for this. So let's play a little big dog real fast, give people a chance to come in. We're not gonna be too long this afternoon. And then we're gonna move on to some other stuff later on. Great seeing you, Brother Mordiel. Thank you to all the moderators.
Our DNA can't create a race. White Jesus, we replace. With V, can't eat a steak. With my people, this ain't planning. What's going on? Aboriginal, Swedish royalty, celestial. Big
Great seeing you, Sister Lisa Cabrera. This is definitely a wonderful time to be alive, but it's more important to be alive and have understanding. 99% of the world is not going to like what life is going to be, will be looking like going forward. And that song right there was Big Dog by Father Indigo. Just a couple things. I'm not going to be long today because we keep hearing people talking about, well, you voted for this. You voted for this. And people are like, well, not all of us voted. See, again, you guys are getting this all messed up. It doesn't matter if all of you, that's that whole colonizer way of just hiding their things. Well, it wasn't all of us that did it. It's not all of us that are, benefiting from it. It's not all of us. So therefore it doesn't mean anything if it's not all of you. Okay? Now look, the vast majority of you guys voted to continue white supremacy. You did not, we're not going to vote for Kamala Harris. She's a woman, as well as a woman of color, as they call her, whatever else. She's still one of yours. She's still part of Psalms 83. But y'all still are trying to push that whole facade of, oh, she's a black woman. Again, what you're seeing right now is white on white crime. That's all that this is. It has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with all of the people that fought to be considered white are now, the Most High has put you at odds with each other. That is it. There's no black or brown coalition. There's people that were the people chosen of the Most High who had to go through the curses, and everybody who didn't want to be part of it. So now what you're seeing is white on white. All the people that wanted to be white and wanted to have upward mobility, it is now you guys are all going against each other and being brought down by the Most High and the Holy Spirit. That's all that it is. So we need to get away from just looking at this the white man, because it's not just them. It's anyone that was been part of this whole facade. That is what you're seeing right now. Okay? And it just shows you how, as you see all the trolls that keep coming in and got nothing to say, but name call and act a fool, just shows you they have nothing, which we already know. It is white on white crime. Trust me, there are plenty of so-called black-looking white people around here. It is 83 versus 83. That's all that you're seeing right now. The Israelites have been moved to the side. They are sitting this one out. They are watching you. So then when you're talking about things like, you voted for this, you guys really didn't vote for this. Your ancestors did the voting for you. Your ancestors voted for this. If you go back to the mid 1400s and they had that papal bull that was pretty much going to keep the Saracens and the Israelites and the people into perpetual servitude, perpetual slavery until different. You guys all fought to not be in perpetual servitude, but that whole part of until different, you guys don't concentrate on. Now is that until different time. Now is that until different. So everything worked fine so long as you got the blessing, and we say it in the curses, and we say it to the curses until different. So every generation, your ancestors, forefathers, okay, you guys had to pretty much sign up every year and vote and vote and vote for this system. So see, they got you thinking that, oh, well, I can't believe this. I mean, yeah, some of us voted for it, but I regret my vote. You know what? You can't regret. You can regret it all you want, but the circumstances won't change. The circumstances won't change because this has been a long time period of you guys voting to be considered white. You have done this for hundreds of years, and you don't get to say, oh, I regret it. Let me come over there and not have to get into these curses. That's not how that works. So your ancestors voted. They fought tooth and nail not to be considered black. And now you're making all these videos talking about the little bit of inconvenience you're having to deal with. And now you're crying every day about, this is not what I voted for. Well, you need to run back to your ancestors and tell them the same thing. Why did you guys vote for this? Did you guys not know that eventually we were going to have to pay? Where are you now? That is why you're in the position you're in now. Yeah, you voted for it too, but your ancestors were voting for it overwhelmingly. And they enjoyed all of these blessings. I was sent a video, let me see if I can find it, about how they put hundreds of alligators in the Rio Grande. And that is the river that they cross, many Latinos cross, many people cross to come over here. What did I tell you guys? Everything that they've done to us, they're going to do to you. They fed our children to alligators. They were alligator bait. We were telling you about the alligator bait and telling you the stories of things they would do at tying our children to trees to lure alligators out of the water so they could kill them. And now they went ahead and put hundreds of alligators in the Rio Grande here so that when you try to cross the river, now you and your children will be eaten by alligators. Are you now seeing how these people are?
They really did it. They have unleashed hundreds of alligators into the Rio Grande so they can catch immigrants trying to cross the river. It is not known who did it, but the fact is that there's now hundreds of alligators in the Rio Grande. And I didn't believe it at first, but I confirmed it by an article by Newsweek magazine. However you feel about immigration in this country, the lack of progress, the frustration that all Americans feel about lawmakers not making any progress on how to fix the problem. How do you feel about the fact that they're now putting alligators on the Rio Grande? Do you think that that would be inhumane for the alligators to be in that area so that they can eat immigrants trying to cross the border? Is it unethical? Is it inhumane for U.S. officials to use alligators in the Rio Grande to deter or murder a lot of immigrants trying to cross the Rio Grande into the United States?
Tired of missing out on what's happening? Kind Joe's got you covered.
Everything that these people did to us, they're going to do to you. She did her video about, yes, Latinos are racist against black people. She did that one, and just like it was like eating food, just like as a matter of fact, exactly. This is how they are. Look, you see how this is. Look at that. What do they tell you? Everything they did that you just ho-hummed about, give me another beer, whatever, give me a glass of wine, they're doing to you. Our kids, again, were alligator bait first. This is the cup of dregs switching to the other nations that sat there and watched them do these things to us. I mean, that's crazy. Right? Seen your brother Sly. Our children were eaten by alligators. Now look, this is your God. This is the man that you guys have been worshiping. See how we've been telling you how evil they are. How evil they are, and how they're murderers, thieves, and they will kill, and they do not care at all. And to a lot of other people, look, you need to go read Dogs of the Conquest, because that's what they use on us. They use these, horrific dogs to tear our people apart. Where are your priests saying this is evil? Where are your priests and your pastors talking about how evil that this is, to put alligators, all right, here in these waters to eat your children? And of course, well, no one knows who did it. You guys know who did it. Don't play dumb. How soulless do you have to be to put alligators there so that when you or your children or people's children try to go through that water, they'll be attacked and killed by alligators? He said, where's the Pope? Where's the Pope talking about this? I want to play that one more time because that was ridiculous. Crazy, isn't it?
They really did it. They have unleashed hundreds of alligators into the Rio Grande so they can catch immigrants trying to cross the river. It is not known who did it, but the fact is that there's now hundreds of alligators in the Rio Grande. And I didn't believe it at first, but I confirmed it by an article by Newsweek magazine. However you feel about immigration in this country, the lack of progress, the frustration that all Americans feel about lawmakers not making any progress on how to fix the problem. How do you feel about the fact that they're now putting alligators on the Rio Grande? Do you think that that would be inhumane for the alligators to be in that area so that they can eat immigrants trying to cross the border? Is it unethical? Is it inhumane for U.S. officials to use alligators in the Rio Grande to deter or murder a lot of immigrants trying to cross the Rio Grande into the United States?
Tired of missing out on what's happening? Kind Joe's got you covered. The stories they're airing, the fights they're avoiding, the news you need to see.
Now, again, you guys have a very difficult time going against the so-called white people because you have cleaved to them this whole time. So if he wants to put alligators in the Rio Grande, you really have a hard time saying anything because They use alligators on us, and you said nothing. You said no reparations. You came over here to this country, and you talked about how we didn't deserve reparations. While you were getting our reparations. You see, this is the whole thing. This is why it's a very difficult situation to be in, because, you know, these things have been going on and you said nothing. Hold on, I'm looking for something. You said nothing. So like I said, it's a very difficult situation to be in. You know, people saying things about compassion. This is your history because your ancestors voted to not have compassion on us. They voted to not have compassion on us. So they're not really even like, they're talking about Trump, but it's like, look, Trump is just the last president that you guys voted for that really pretty much put you guys in this position. But you've had presidents that have been going after us. That's what you guys were hoping for. That this president was gonna, look, y'all all assumed that Trump was gonna go after black people. You guys all assumed that Trump was only gonna, when you talk about criminals, you're talking about so-called black people. When you're talking about going after, you know, people, the undesirables in society, that has been black people. So you had no problem voting for him because you assumed he was going to keep going down the same road and go after black people. Because why? Because that's the track record. Presidents say they're going to do this, and that, but they always go after black people. They have all these laws in the books that they can go after all these different groups, but they always go after black people. So they used to deploy 700 Marines to LA. They would do that kind of stuff with the Israelites. Well, you know, us when we were out there protesting. Now they're doing it against you. Y'all would talk about us being criminals because people would go out and go and loot. I saw people looting yesterday, going into shoe stores and whatever else. Now what? I want to find this one picture. Hold on real fast, family. I want to show you guys this picture. Because see, like, your guys' history, that's what y'all been wanting to forget. Y'all been wanting to forget your history. Okay, I got this picture here with 4 prominent Latinos here in the past here. So I'm going to show you guys the picture, okay? I'm trying to make it bigger. The guy here, show you the picture first. I'm going to show you his picture. And I'm going to read the caption underneath, okay? For this guy right here. He says, "We are not and have never been a civil rights organization. Personally, I hate the word." This is Hector Garcia, founder of American GI Forum. That's the first guy. Next one. This guy with the glasses, right here. He says, "Let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I don't want to ally with him." Felix Tejeda, Mexican-American president of LULAC, 1956-1960. Okay? You guys were quick to go with the colonizers because they were in their blessing. 1950s, you guys were all, yeah, y'all wanted to go over there because you wanted to be with them because they were in their blessing. This guy with the glasses right here. He says, "Latin Americans of Mexican descent belong to the Caucasian race and are therefore white. John J. Herrera, LULAC president, 1952. Y'all wanted to be with these people. This is why I tell you it's white on white crime. Next, this guy here at the bottom. His name is Gus Garcia. I know Negroes aren't getting their full share of democracy. Again, I know Negroes aren't getting their full share of democracy. But frankly, I'm prejudiced against Negroes. And I do not believe that they are entitled to everything that we get. That's what this dude said. So good. So look, so now understand, in the 50s, when you guys were, considered white, which is, you weren't considered like the white man, but you were considered, to get some upward mobility. And y'all had to go ahead and disconnect yourself from us. These were your ancestors that voted for this. That's a prime example of, yeah, you guys, a lot of you guys voted for Trump. But these people have been voting against our interest, knowing that they came over here. This guy especially says he knows that black people or Negroes here were not getting their fair share of democracy, but he did not care. He did not care that they were, one boy said, I know Negroes aren't getting their full share of democracy, but frankly, I'm prejudiced against Negroes, and I do not believe that they are entitled to everything that we get. How is that possible that we're not entitled to everything that you get when you guys just got here? In fact, he fought so that in the 1950s, that Mexican American was actually, that was the first time that was even accepted, in the 1950s. You see what I'm saying? So these ancestors, you guys want to keep saying, oh, that was a long time ago. No, these guys, 1950s. That's 70 years ago. 70 years ago. You don't know anybody that's 80? Somebody that's 90? This was the thinking of these people 70 years ago. So you just say, if you're 40 or 50, this could be your parents. These could be your parents. So see, now, oh, I didn't vote for this. This is not what I voted for. Yes, you did. Your ancestors, not even that long ago, voted for this. But the thing was, they were voting for it for us. They were voting for this treatment for us. That is the issue. You guys voted for us to be treated like this. This guy in the 1950s, well aware that the so-called Negroes were not getting what they deserved. They were not getting the benefits that we deserved. And he said, I don't believe they should get everything that we get. How is that possible? How could you just get over here not that long ago and think that somehow you deserve more benefits than I did when my forefathers were here and they built this country? Exactly, Devin Powers. They've all known that we were being mistreated and that we were not getting what we were supposed to have gotten. You see, now it's painfully clear that, yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to walk away from this. This is why it's important for us to tell our story. See, they're always trying to use somebody else to tell our story. Now they're trying to use Hamites to tell our stories. Hamites playing all these videos and giving commentary. Why in the hell would I need Psalm 83 to comment on what I've gone through? You see what I'm saying? And of course, people are going to talk about the Irish. We are the Irish. You white Irish came over here and you got an opportunity to enjoy the blessings of these lands. You weren't brought over here on slave ships. You did not go through 400 plus years of bad treatment in slavery. Save it. You are part of Psalms 83 as well. Exactly, Judaism. We are the Israelites, and we have been surrounded by our enemies. You also now somebody talks about gingers being black people. See, again, everybody wants to be black. If you're a ginger and you've gone through the persecution that we have, then cool, you're us. Right, Antoinette? They got no new talking points. I just showed you. Like these are people from the 50s. These are your parents or grandparents. This was the mindset that they had then, that they have passed down to their children, because they all had that talk. Don't be bringing no black people up in here. I will disown you if you bring black people up in here. If you go with them, be prepared for a hard life. They're not like us. They're not hardworking. They're not family oriented. Well, how is it working for you now? How are your families going to be family oriented when one gets shipped here, one gets deported here, one gets moved there? Let me see how well your family's life is going to be set up after you get about 1,000 years of that. You see what I'm saying? Like, show us again how this even makes any sense when you guys are making these videos talking about how hard things are for you, and it's just barely been 100 days. The tide has changed. Like I said, you voted for Trump to do this stuff to us. That's all y'all voted for. All of Psalms 83. Because you guys, look, y'all all have been enjoying this matrix. You guys have been enjoying this life. So your vote was for Psalms 83 to continue the blessings. That's all you voted for. And see, you voted for Trump the first time, he didn't mess with y'all. He might have gotten rid of a few people here and there, but Obama got rid of they said 3 million. But still, did he do what they're doing now to you guys? No. Why is that? What's the difference between Trump before and Trump now? Trump in 2016 and Trump now in 2025. The difference is your blessing is over. That is what the difference is. Yeah, right, Dorothea Knox? The Most High is having his way now. See, so you voted for Trump to now make sure that, just make sure you go after these black people. They're outside of the covenant. They are outside of Psalms 83. Go get them. They don't have any rights. They don't have, any rights that we need to observe. Go after them. That's what they were hoping for. But in actuality, you voted now to have the Most High turn everything on you. They've never been putting alligators in the Rio Grande before, at least not to my knowledge. But now all of a sudden, they're sending all these things out on you. And that's exactly it, Donald. Trump works for the Most High now. He's doing the things that you were hoping they would do to us. Now he's turning that on you. Hence why I say that this is white on white crime. You guys are going to think it's about skin color. It's not. It's about people who were white as far as getting the benefits of this society. That is it. Now there's no more benefits to get. No more benefits coming. White on white crime. That's all that you're seeing. That's the Most High. That's like I said, when I showed you guys this picture of these guys, and I'll use it again later on, you can see they all hated Negroes. And these guys were in prominent positions. So they were pushing all this stuff against so-called black people. So trust me, this was stuff that was pushed in society as well. Hold on real fast. I'm going to play this video right here. Brother Modiel hooked me up with.
And when all of this is said and done, we're never going to. And when all of this is said and done, we're never going to forget those of you that celebrated this. Those of you that cheered on while innocent families were ripped apart, while people were chained up at their workplaces. And honestly, I hope you're met with the same lack of compassion that you give us. And that's the only thing that brings me comfort right now. And when all of this is said and done,
and that's you are damning yourselves. This is what's going on right now. You guys are damning yourselves with your own words. Be very careful what you put out there, because your words have power. The Most High is like, oh, okay. Well, people that that just sit here and watch are going to be damned. Oh, well, that's fine. Okay, cool. That means you're damning yourself, because that's exactly what your people have done. Right? God says, kind of like you. When you were watching our kids getting killed and by cops and whatever else, and you hear about the slavery and history and everything else, but now you're casting spells. Exactly, right? You guys, now the Most High's got you guys casting spells on yourselves. History did not start in 2020. History did not start in 2025. So again, real quick.
we're never going to forget those of you that celebrated this. Those of you that cheered on while in.
And see, that's right. That's right. We're never going to forget the people that sat around and cheered our demise. You're damn right. That's why you don't get any sympathy from us. And you're not going to get any sympathy between your own people now, or your own group, Psalms 83, because you guys are all in this hell together. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is all, you guys are now casting spells on yourselves. We're not going to forget this. You people who just sat around and watched, well, we're the only ones sitting around watching. I said, because you guys are all active participants in this takedown now. He's using your own people to take you down. He's out, and your own people aren't just Latinos. Your own people are black people, white people, East Indians. I mean, because they're all part of Psalms 83. That's how this, they're all goats.
Innocent families were ripped apart, while people were chained up at their workplaces. And honestly, I hope you're met with the same lack of compassion that you give us. And that's the only thing that brings me comfort right now.
So you're getting the same lack of compassion that you gave us. Exactly. You're getting the exact same lack of compassion from our people that you gave us. This is what happens when your history only starts yesterday. Your history only your history of you actually having things going bad for you started on Friday, because you guys were the ones that were active participants in watching all this happen to us. So therefore now you are explaining why there's a huge lack of compassion. The only people that you're worried about getting compassion from is us, because we are the only ones that have a direct connection to the Most High. You want us to pray for you because you want our power to hear your prayers. What did I already tell you guys? If you want to hear our power, you need to bless us, so that we then can talk to our Father for you. You're gonna have to come 10 toes down straight at us, not trying to sneakily get our prayers. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. This is another good one.
They really thought the mountain would never wake up.
This is a great video. Thank you, Brother Mordiel, for this one too.
Thought the mountain would never wake up. I'm gonna put it all together. So the system depended on amnesia. Amnesia of those who are the descendants of the harmed, and amnesia of those who are the descendants of the harm doers. Amnesia of not just who we are, but what we are. But the remembering has begun. So what happens when both sides begin to remember? And not just remember their who, but remember their what. The descendants of the harm, that remembering feels like a reclamation, because while we were erased from paper, we were never erased from frequency. And you cannot deny Aboriginal energy. The descendants of the harm doers, the remembering may feel like disenfranchisement, because you were never taught truth, and the system erased the proof and silence the whispers. They are left with, that's just grandpa, but what did grandpa do? And that awakening is heavy as well. Then of course you have the natives on paper who, like some that like to overcompensate with certificates, memberships, roles, rallies, whatever. However, paper does not equal power. Paper does not equal frequency, and paper does not equal ancestral connection. It's like many who are on paper lack the true energy, and those who are not documented have a lot of it. It's like the placebo versus the real thing. It's crazy because the system tried to divide us, erase us, rewrite us, rename us, and try to box us into a who, but it never touched our what, which is sovereign frequency, consciousness. And now, remembrance leads to awareness. Awareness leads to a reclaimed identity. That reclaimed identity births true unity, and that true unity dismantles that system, that divisive ass system, and ends the sleep. We're watching it in real time. The shift is happening and the mountain is moving. They really thought the mountain would never.
And that's it. And then that's exactly it. That's exactly it. So like I said, this is just Most High just making connections with myself, and then other brothers and sisters sending me videos and sharing that information. I said it's all, we're on the same frequency and bringing this information out. Getting understanding, multiple people bringing out videos and bringing out understanding, bringing out, you know, their understanding. Our understanding is the only thing that matters, because see, everyone's else understanding is all based off of Psalms 83 understanding. As someone on like TikTok was just talking about, oh, I only believe the Bible. Are you a Pharisee? I was like, how can I be a Pharisee when you're the ones who have been in charge this whole time? How can you even fix your mouth to call me a Pharisee when the only people's opinions that have mattered have been yours this whole time? You act as if somehow like what I'm saying is like something that's been pushed out in the world forever. No, what you've been saying has been pushed out, and now it's being proven to be nothing but a bunch of lies. Nothing but a bunch of lies. Now, real quick, I'm gonna read a little bit of 2 Esdras 15. 15:4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Most High, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. That is what you guys are witnessing, the switch. This is that switch. And therefore, saith the Most High, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Okay, so you voted to continue spilling our innocent blood. Psalms 83. White on white crime. That's what you guys wanted. White on white blessings, so you can continue with, you know, white on black crime. Okay? But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment of the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. So everything that you guys have been blessed with is going to fail. Everything. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's Psalms 83. One people, different people in Psalms 83 are going to stand up with swords in their hand and fight one another, which is what you're seeing. All of a sudden now 700 Marines are now going up there. You guys will be fighting each other, and it doesn't matter what color you guys are. You guys are all goats. You're all Psalms 83. Okay? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay? For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. I hate Trump. I don't like Trump. I don't like this. I don't like the politicians. They don't listen. I don't like the mayor. I don't like the governor. It's all because they're all Psalms 83. You're not listening to each other anymore. Okay? Shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. You guys were very prideful against us and our power. Where's your God? Where's your power? Okay? Right? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Psalms 83, y'all don't have pity on each other no more. You guys have all been looking out for each other, partying with each other, sending each other gifts. But now, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. This is the great tribulation on Psalms 83. Great tribulation for all the people that work together against our people. This is for the great tribulation that you thought you were going to miss. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth, to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another. You guys are going to be killing each other real soon. Okay? And repay the things that they have done to them. You're going to have to repay the things that have been done to them is us. It has nothing to do with Psalm 83. Everything you've done to us because you've all worked together against us. Like as they do, yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Most High Power. Everything you've done to us is going to happen to you. So you don't think it's kind of ironic that now they put all these alligators in the Rio Grande to kill you guys? Why is that? Because it happened to us. Just so you understand, because your churches ain't saying nothing to you, and neither are your priests. Now I'm letting you know what's really going on. Much love, family. Shalom.